Hari Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Swami Jyotirmayananda Society, a journey to self-realization. Please subscribe for the mystical meanings and to enjoy daily satsang. We are currently exploring Srimad Bhagavad Gita, commentaries by Swami Jyotirmayananda Maharaj, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. We are currently on chapter number 18, Moksha Sannyas Yoga, Liberation, Renunciation Yoga, and today we are starting from shloka number 17. 18th chapter is one of the longest chapter. It has about 76 shlokas, and then we conclude the 78 shlokas, and then we conclude the full Bhagavad Gita. This is the very last chapter we are on, in which Lord is summarizing all the teachings here. So 17, Lord says, Yasya naham krito bhavo buddhir yasya na lipyate hatvapi sa imam lokan hanti na nibadhyate. He who is free of the ego sense and whose intellect is not tainted by the sense of doership and enjoyership, such a sage, even if he were to kill all beings, yet he does not really kill, nor is he bound by such actions. So, this shloka has to be understood with a profound viewpoint and with deeper introspection. Here, Lord is saying, if you don't have any ego, meaning you don't do anything for yourself, for your personal reasons, you don't want to take credit for I am, I did it, etc., and whose intellect is totally pure, one meaning one who is self-realized, who's a sage, who's a saint, and who has achieved this journey. He has completed this transitional journey into its full zenith, into its full bloom, and they have enlightened themselves in this process. They have become Jivan Mukta, like our worshipful Guruji. Then these sages, God is using a hypothetical here. They're saying if they, let's say they start killing people, then they will still not incur any karma at all, because they have already burnt up all the seeds, and therefore they are not bound by any of the consequences of their actions. They would never do such a thing. As you know, sages and saints are ready to even give their life. They're full of love and compassion. But here, remember, it's a setting of the war. Arjuna is about to have a battle, and there'll be a lot of killing in the process. So Lord is explaining this metaphor so Arjuna can understand that better. So once he fights and kills, he won't feel like he's incurring any sin. And truly, because you're doing your duty, that duty is not sinful, because it's not done for vested interest or personal interest or for a personal gain. It is for dharma, righteousness. So these shlokas, that's why, are extremely deep, and that's why we say these need to be studied under qualified guidance. If somebody reads this on its own, they may totally misinterpret the shloka. So I hope this has been clear, but if not, I will continue to clarify and answer any questions that you may have. So shloka number 18 continues. ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं परिज्ञाता त्रिविधा कर्म च ओदना करणं कर्म कर्तेति त्रिविधः कर्म संग्रहः. Knowledge, the knowable, and the knower, these are the threefold impulses for action, while instrument, the senses, action, and the doer, these are the threefold bases of action. So here God is saying, how do karma come into being? There has to be the knowledge itself and the knower of the knowledge. So if you are good in music or good in arts or good in science or good in any subject, you have to know the knowledge, you have to know it, and there has to be some concept that has to be grasped. So these are the threefold knowledges in knowledge, knower, and known. And then there are the impulses of actions through the instruments, how we will do those actions, which is the instruments we need, as we have talked the five types of basics of the karmas. Here God is further dissecting them into saying that you will need the senses, then you will do the action, and there is a doer. You are the doer of that action. So there are the threefold bases of the action also. So here God is further subdividing those five into beautiful, more finite examples of how it will work at a personal level when you start picking up a karma. How do you go deeper into the knowledge? What is to be known? Who is the knower? What action are you doing? Who is the doer? So God is trying to explain from this perspective. Chapter Shloka number 19. Jnanam karma cha karta cha tridhaiv guna bhedatah procyate guna sankhyane yatha vachranuthanyapi. Now hear from me the characteristics of knowledge, action, and doer according to the three gunas as taught by the Sankhya philosophy. So now God, with his compassion, based on the previous shloka, which he had just given us the summary, is now going to go deeper into it. And he says each one of these things, the knowledge, which is known as jnana, and then the action, which is known as karma, and karta is the doer. So all of these three are also subdivided into the three gunas of sattva, rajas, and tamas, according to the Sankhya philosophy or Vedanta. So Lord continues, shloka number 20. Sarvabhuteshu yenekam bhavam avyamikshate अविभक्तं विभक्तेषु तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि सात्विकम्. The knowledge by which one sees the one imperishable and indivisible being inherent in all objects that are apparently separate from each other is known to be as sattvic or pure. Beautiful shloka. So, although here what God is trying to do is trying to make us see unity in multiplicity. So, just like there is one sun, but it has billions of reflections, infinite reflections, but ultimately they are all part of the same sun. So, here God is saying, although you are a separate entity as a human being, but if you start seeing everybody as your very self, as an extension of that same Brahman through which we are a cosmic image, and so is everybody else, then you are seeing properly, you are seeing in a sattvic way, because now you are bringing unity into separation. From separation, you are going into the oneness. Shloka 21. पृथक्त्वेन तु तज्ज्ञानं नानाभावान् पृथग्विधान् वेति सर्वेषु भूतेषु तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि राजसम्. The knowledge by which one sees multiplicity in beings because of their separatedness, known that to be rajasic or impure, which is where most of the world is, because they say this is mine, that is thine, this is my house, that is your house, this is my country, that is your country, this is my religion, that is your religion. The distinctions never end. We are always trying to divide and see things in a separate basis, which is why most of the world is in the state that it's in today. We are fighting over things, greed, lust, anger, jealousy. All these things come because of that me, give importance to me but not to others. And that is where God is saying, if you are seeing things in that manner, you are seeing multiplicity, you are seeing differences, then know your knowledge to be worldly or rajasic. So very simple to understand and very beautifully explained also. So Shloka 22. यत्तु कृत्स्नवदे कस्मिन् कार्ये सक्तमहेतुकम् अतत्त्वार्थवदल्पं च तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्. The knowledge that creates the illusion of perceiving the whole in one single effect, which is without any rational validity, without any purpose, and without any significance, is called tamsik. Tamsik is where the fog is too much for you to distinguish between what is right and wrong, what is unified or what is multiplicity or unity. So, therefore, the intellect is so clouded that it becomes tamasic. Tamasic is obviously um, the worst of the gunas, because when we get deluded, we become ignorant and we lose our intellect, etc. So, but God is giving us by example all these things so we can understand. Ideally, from rajas, from tamas to rajas, rajas to sattva, and sattva to take that next leap, which most people are not able to do, transcendental state, the sleep state, the sahaja samadhi state. In that state, there is no time, no space. But for most people, that's why Bhagavad Gita is for the masses to understand. So for them, even if they can maintain sattva or purity, that's a very high state. Even if they are not able to achieve Turiya, that's nothing to be feeling dejected or sorry about. Being in sattva most of the time itself is a very high state, according to Bhagavad Gita. So Shloka 23, Niyatam Sangarahitar Rag Dveshatah Kritam Afala Presuna Karma Yat Tat Muchyate. Now we are getting to the actions. So first it was the knowledge, now the action. The action that is performed with a sense of duty, without expectation of fruit, without dependence, and without attachment and hatred, that action is said to be sattvic. So we can actually test it out in our own life. Are we doing our duty with a sense of duty, without expectation of the fruit, which means we like our work so much that we do it for the love of it, or are we doing it for money? So if it's just for the money, then obviously it's not your real love. But if you're doing it for the passion of it and you're doing it for the love of it, then it's your swadharma, your natural duty. And then if there is no expectation of fruit, that is a very high state, it's called nishkamya karma. And without dependence, meaning you are not dependent on others, you are taking the initiative, you do it, and all the help comes from God and other people, but you are continuing to do your part, and you're doing it without any attachment or hatred or gain or loss. If you're doing it, it's simply for the sake of the duty. If you're doing all these things, then consider that action to be sattvic. That is Lord Krishna's guidance for all of us. At this point, we will conclude our satsang for today, and I will see you in tomorrow's satsang, where we will continue these nectarine teachings of Lord Krishna and from our Guru, and we will start from shloka number 24. Hari Om Tat Sat.